Welcome to the 2017 Global Shining Light Awards. Tonight's 12 finalists were selected from an extraordinary 195 submissions from 67 countries. The finalists are: inside the massive extrajudicial killings in Nigeria's southeast and how the Onitsha massacre of pro-Biafra supporters was coordinated. Premium Times, Nigeria. A 2-month-long investigation uncovered multiple mass graves, lending support to allegations that police and military forces targeted a minority ethnic group for abuse and extrajudicial killings. Following reports that included photo evidence, human rights groups demanded an independent probe, and the army announced a new investigation. Justice, Tiger Eye PI, Ghana, Al Jazeera English, Insight TWI. A 2-year undercover investigation produced evidence of 34 judges and over 100 clerks accepting bribes to run a certain way in court cases. Following release of a 3-hour documentary and publication of newspaper reports, 25 judges were removed from office and judicial staff were relieved of their duties. Project number 1, Baladi TV channel, Iraq. When $200 million allocated for public schools in Iraq went missing, this reporter followed the money to a suspicious bank and overseas. The story exposed the magnitude of corruption in the country's Ministry of Education and led to a conviction and settlement that returned half the stolen money. Death in Service, BBC World and BBC Arabic Egypt. This investigation into the deaths of 13 military conscripts uncovered abuse and allegations of murder, while authorities worked to cover up evidence. After the story aired, one of the officers implicated was sentenced to 3 years in jail. The reporter was accused of undermining security in Egypt and forced to resign his job. Making a Killing, Balkan Investigative Reporting Network, an organized crime and corruption reporting project. This investigation uncovered an illegal billion-euro arms pipeline between Eastern Europe and the Middle East, financed by Arab states and Turkey, and diverted to ISIS and other extremist groups. The series sparked controversy across Europe and led to reviews and stronger monitoring by the EU and member states. Corruption and Organized Crime, Center for Investigative Journalism of Serbia. The team built 2 databases and produced a series that exposed Serbia's official fight against corruption as a sham. Records obtained through hundreds of Freedom of Information requests revealed that corruption prosecutions mainly targeted low-level public officials, dragged on for years, and often resulted in suspended sentences. Dirty Gold, Chasing the Trace of the London Bullion Market, Ojo Publico, Peru. Dirty Gold identified US and Swiss companies buying illegally mined gold in Peru, Colombia, Bolivia, Ecuador, and Chile. After publication, authorities in 4 countries launched investigations, resulting in multiple arrests. Wild Land, Violence, Devastation, and Death in the Heart of Brazil. O Estado de São Paulo. Journalists traveled 15,000 kilometers of government roads to investigate the theft of public land and timber in Brazil's Amazon region. The project built a database on 1,309 people killed in land conflicts and exposed human rights abuses, corruption, and elaborate profiteering schemes. Anbang Series, Southern Weekly, China. In what industry insiders call a powerful exposé of the ties between money and political power in China, this series on China's Anbang Insurance Group scrutinized the company's expansion overseas, complex deal-making, and shifting shareholder structure that included former Communist Party leaders. Pressured by authorities, the publisher removed the story from its website 5 days after publication. The Jungle Gangs of Jharkhand, Hindustan Times. Using data and interviews, reporters revealed how security agencies in India's Jharkhand state collaborated with rogue armed groups fighting Maoist insurgents. After publication, India's National Human Rights Commission called for an independent inquiry into how local communities were victimized by state-supported gangs. Gujarat Files, Anatomy of a Cover-Up, self-published, India 2016. The reporter went undercover for 9 months to record top officials speaking candidly about the 2002 riots in Gujarat, which left at least 1,000 Muslims dead. When a target of the investigation was poised to become India's Prime Minister, media houses got cold feet. Despite threats and surveillance, the self-published transcripts revealed complicity by India's top officials in the attacks. The Khadija Project organised crime and corruption reporting project in collaboration with numerous outlets. Reporters from a dozen media outlets spent a year continuing the work of investigative journalist Khadija Ismailova, who was arrested on trumped-up charges in Azerbaijan. After months of stories exposing kleptocracy and corruption, much of it benefiting the ruling Ailev family, Ismailova was released from prison.